Be honest, have you ever opened your UGC NET syllabus, seen words like poststructuralism and deconstruction, and immediately wanted to close the book? If you have ever felt lost, frustrated, or even overwhelmed by literary theories, then you're not alone. With so many complicated terms, endless critiques, and abstract concepts, understanding literary theories can almost feel like cracking a secret code. But what if I told you that there's an easier way out there? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to make literary theories simple, relatable, and easy to understand through using real-life analogies, smart memory tricks, and strategies that will transform the way you study. Before we jump into the tips and tricks, let's get one thing very clear. Why do we even have to study literary theories in the first place? Literary theories are like the lenses through which we analyze each and every text. Think of it like the camera lenses, right? Wherein we highlight any one aspect of a work. Think of it like the camera filters, right? For example, a Marxist reading of a novel or a movie will highlight the class struggles. A feminist reading, on the other hand, will highlight the gender dynamics of that particular text or movie. These theories are very essential to understand, especially for your UGC NET English exam, because questions related to structuralism, postmodernism, poststructuralism, and many more theories are frequently asked in this particular exam. And not just UGC NET English exam. If you are a student of English literature, you should understand these theories in detail, because then later on you will be able to apply those theories to any text or novel or movie that you are watching. And consequently, it will help you in your higher academic research like PhDs, assignments, thesis, etc. Right? And apart from UGC NET exam or apart from English literature, understanding these theories becomes very essential because they have a philosophical foundation, a very logical foundation. Once you understand their main ideas, their main concepts, you will be able to understand the world that you're living in, the culture that you are a part of, and the society that you are interacting daily with. If you understand the literary theories the right way, you don't have to memorize the concepts, you don't have to rote learn the complicated theoretical ideas, the abstract ideas, or what the critiques have tried to say. In fact, you will enjoy this entire process of applying the literary theories to the texts that you are reading. And that's the main idea. But let's be real, learning and studying literary theories can feel like a nightmare. Most students struggle with literary theory. Why? Because first, too many theories, too many names. It's difficult to remember whether Roland Barthes belonged to structuralism or post-structuralism. Second, the theoretical texts are just too dense. They are too heavy to read and they are filled with jargon. Understand one thing, guys, that theorists, they love complicated language. If you are still unaware about this, try reading Jacques Derrida's of Grammatology or even Julia Kristeva's Differences between the Semiotic or the Symbolic. You will know. And finally, a lot of students are overwhelmed by these literary theories because they feel that everything is abstract, which makes it difficult to grasp, right? And so a lot of students are scared by these literary theories. Too many names, too many concepts where everything just feels the same or interconnected. So, how do we make it easier? Let me share 4 super effective hacks with you that will completely change the way you study literary theory forever. The first hack is called as categorization. There are more than 15 literary theories in English literature. So, are you going to sit down and start studying with each and every literary theory? That can be a bit tiresome in the beginning. So how are you going to start the process? The process can start with categorization. First of all, understand the common features of these literary theories and try grouping them into different categories based on these common features and characteristics. For example, think about literary theories like structuralism, new criticism, formalism, right? All these literary theories, they focus on the text. They focus on how to extract the meaning of the text based on the formal features of it. For example, if it's a poem, then the critique is going to depend on the rhyme scheme, the meter, the form of the poetry that it is, the kind of devices, literary terms and devices used in the poem, how they interact with each other, and just based on that, they are going to extract the meaning. So all of these theories have this one commonality between them, that they are going to focus on the text. So you can group them under the category of textual theories. Similarly, you can create another category called as contextual theories, where the meaning of the text is extracted not from the text but from the context in which the text was produced, like history or society. What are these theories? Like new historicism, cultural materialism, post-colonialism, right? Similarly, you can group other theories, you can categorize other theories based on the commonalities, the features, the characteristics that they share with each other. But you must be wondering, then what is the use of categorizing these theories? Understand that when you categorize these theories, you are getting a comprehensive understanding of the main features of these theories. You are getting a basic conceptual understanding of these theories, right? Once you are clear with the basic characteristics, the main characteristics of these groups of theories, then you can explore each and every school of thought. Right? So what you can do is, once you are done with categorizing these theories, you can then individually explore all the theories, familiarize yourself with the basic theoretical concepts, with the key theorists, right? So this entire process is going to help you lay a foundation for understanding literary theories. If your foundation is solid, if your foundation is clear, then only you will be able to later understand the complex and the complicated literary terms and the theoretical concepts. The second most effective hack to understand literary theory is that don't just absorb these literary theories, actively engage with them. One of the best ways to understand and learn literary theories is to associate them with something that you already know, to relate them with your everyday life. For example, a lot of students face problems in understanding structuralism, right? So what is structuralism as a literary approach? Structuralism as a literary approach basically means that the meaning in language is dependent on the differences of the words with each other, the relationship of the words with each other. Secondly, this difference helps in creating those underlying patterns, those universal patterns, especially in any text or a novel that you take. Now let's understand this with the most basic example. And let's say that you are making pasta, right? Now when you are making a pasta, you have this set recipe that is provided to you, which is boil the pasta, make the sauce, season it, and then serve it. Now this basic recipe is going to be the same no matter whichever kind or whichever type of pasta that you take. And once the entire dish is made, the full flavor is dependent on each and every ingredient with each other, right? Similarly, when you talk about structuralism in literature, there are certain underlying set patterns that are present in every story, like the recipe. And then when you go deeper, you need to look at the elements of this set pattern. For example, characters, setting, plot, right? Now all of these elements, they are not going to make sense separately. They are not going to make sense individually. It's only when these elements interact with each other and how these elements interact with each other, they are going to help you create universal patterns. So when a structuralist critique looks at a novel, they are not just going to look at the elements individually, but they are also going to look at how these elements together interact with each other, create those underlying universal patterns. Let's say that you have categorized the different schools of literary thought. You have understood, or you're trying to understand different literary theories. You're trying to familiarize yourself with the theoretical concepts or the key theorists for that matter. And you're also actively engaging with the theory, associating it with something that you already know. But the main problem that is arising right now is that you're not able to retain so many ideas together. You're not able to remember the names of the theorists or the theoretical concepts, and you're not able to even recall. So what are you going to do in that case? This brings me to my third most effective hack to remember literary theories. And what is that? Use creative mnemonics and acronyms to remember the theorists and their theoretical concepts. Something like Derrida destroys definitions. In this manner, you are going to remember who provided the term deconstruction. At the same time, you are going to get this very filtered out, this very simplified explanation of deconstruction, which will help you in recalling and retaining the theoretical concepts and the main ideas of these theories. And finally, the fourth most important hack for learning literary theories is to engage in discussions with people about these theories. Get a hold of your friends, your peers, or your colleagues, or anyone and talk about these theories, right? See if you can simplify them. Maybe your friend or your peer, your colleague is not from the literature background. In that case, are you able to relate these complex literary theories with their everyday life? If you're able to do so, then you are getting a hold, you're getting a grasp over these theories. But you're not able to do that, then maybe there are some obstacles, there are some weak points that you still need to work on. And if you're not able to find anyone to discuss with, then teach yourself. Check if you are able to simplify the complex concepts, if you are able to remove the dense, heavy jargon from the theoretical paper and are able to make yourself understand the basic ideas or not. If there are some places that you are not able to do that, then that means that those are your weak points. Improve on those weak points. But despite trying all these hacks over a period of time, if you're not able to get a hold of these literary theories, you're not able to understand the complex concepts for your UGC NET English exam, then you can join my live UGC NET English literature classes. In my live classes, I am breaking down each and every literary theory, starting from structuralism down to eco-criticism and queer theory in a very simplified manner. Not just that, but I'm also breaking down the history of British literature and Indian English literature in a very detailed and comprehensive manner. In these live classes, I am focusing on each and every literary period, followed by a detailed discussion on each and every author, including major as well as minor, and a detailed discussion on their works. This will help you in tackling the chronology-based questions. But wait, that's not the best part about these classes yet. The best part about these sessions, that these are live one-on-one sessions, which means that I can provide you personalized guidance tailored to your needs, requirements and schedule, trying to fill the possible gaps in your UGC NET English exam preparation. If you want to know more about the kind of courses I offer, the sessions I take and the notes I provide, feel free to check out my TopMate page. It's topmate.io/Riya Gandhi. I've shared the link in the description box below, so don't forget to check it out. That's it for today's video, folks. The next time when you find post-structuralism glaring at you, don't panic. You can use all of these study hacks to ace all the literary theories. And if you still find any difficulty in doing that, you can join my live UGC NET English literature classes this year. If you found this video informative and helpful, please like, share and subscribe to my channel for more such UGC NET English insights. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and I'll see you in the next one.